you ever been one of those women that were like, I don't need no man? And then you get one and it's like a good one and like does everything for you. You don't have to cook dinner or get gas. You like forget how to do everything. You're like, shit. Hey, but like, when's dinner?
It's almost done.
Okay. I hope he never leaves me because I'm screwed.
When a girl is in a relationship with you, she gets certain benefits. You help her make decisions, you take responsibility for things. There's emotional support, there's advice, there's financial contributions. You do her favors, there's cooking, there's helping with the chores, whatever it might be. There's a lot of benefits to being in a relationship with you. But what happens to those benefits if you break up? If she has become dependent upon you and the benefits that you bring her life by being in a relationship with you, is it really fair to just cut her off cold turkey? No financial support, no emotional support. Is that fair? Yes. But what if she has emotional needs and she needs somebody to comfort her? Then she needs to reach out to somebody else. You're not in a relationship with her. No longer your concern. But what if she can't afford her rent? Then she needs to get a job. Her finances are no longer your responsibility. But what about all the things that you used to do for her? You can't just leave her hanging. How is it fair for you to just cut her off? How is it fair to you to be expected to continue to provide relational benefits when you're no longer in a relationship? All those perks that she's been enjoying, that was conditional on you two being a couple. You're a package deal. If the relationship ends, then so do all the benefits. Do not fall for the sexist myth that because you're a man, there are somehow different rules that apply and she's just some weak, pathetic female who can't possibly take care of herself. And so even though you're not dating her anymore, it's still your responsibility to pay off her credit card. No, absolutely not. Fuck that. Those days are over. Chivalry is dead and feminism killed it. Women cannot have it both ways. They can't constantly be going on about the need for equality and independence in one breath, but then in the next breath say that it's a man's obligation to take care of her. You're not even dating her anymore, and any suggestion that it's your responsibility to continue to support her is frankly sexist. Like, this doesn't go both ways. After you break up, does she come round to your house to cook you meals, to clean your apartment, to have sex with you? No, of course not, because the relationship is over and she understands that when you're no longer a couple, all of the benefits that you used to get by being in a relationship with her are going to dry up. Why would it be any different because you're a man? Why do so many men keep falling for this? And how is it that women are able to manipulate men into falling for this? That's what I'm going to explain in this video. But first, I want to talk about the sponsor of today's video. When you first hear about steroids, it sounds too good to be true. And it is. Like, you get the increased muscle mass, but it has all of these nasty side effects. But luckily, science does not stop. It's always searching for new products, new substances, new opportunities. Enter turkesterone from Black Forest Supplements. Turkesterone is part of a group called ecdysteroids. These are the naturally occurring steroid hormones found in plants. The good news is that unlike synthetic steroids that bind to the androgen receptors in the body, ecdysteroids like turkesterone bind to the estrogen receptors, which means they avoid some of the nasty side effects that the androgens can create. The science is still new, but it's all pretty fascinating. I'm going to put a link down below for anyone who wants to do their own research. And if you decide this is something for you, then you should do some research. You should know what you're putting into your body. But if you decide that you do want some increased energy, some muscle growth, and you want to try turkesterone, I 100% recommend Black Forest Supplements. They have the purest product on the market. It is 95% turkesterone. The value for money is amazing. Plus, as a member of my audience, they're going to give you a 5% discount. So click the link in the description box below, check out their website, check out all of the positive reviews, and if you're ready, place your order. Okay, back to the video. I had a couple of Hey Hero requests recently from guys wanting advice about their relationships, and the things that they said to me, I found really, really concerning, because it was stuff like, even though we broke up, I continued to pay for her rent and her tuition because it was the right thing to do. It was said so casually as though this was just assumed. There was another guy who, after the breakup, he wanted to do the right thing. She didn't have anywhere to live. They'd been living in his apartment, rent-free, I might add. She didn't pay a thing. He covered all of the mortgage payments, whatever, but he was feeling sorry for her, even though it was a toxic, awful relationship and she was abusive. He didn't want her to be homeless, and so he went to stay with friends. He had more friends than she did, no surprise, for a couple of weeks so that she could take that time to move out and to find a new apartment. So what did she do with that time? She called a locksmith, locked him out of his own apartment. Took him months and all these legal proceedings to actually get access to his own home again. Why do men fall for this? The relationship is over. Your obligation is done. I mean, I know the answer. I know why men do that. It's because they want to be good guys, but the days of traditional masculinity and being appreciated for the sacrifices that we make for women, it's over. I hate to be the one to burst your bubble, but those days are done. It's over. I mean, I would prefer things were still like that. There's some dignity between men and women. You know, men were protectors and providers, and women were grateful and appreciative of what they received. But it's over, and it's time to adjust, at least on a society-wide level. That kind of masculinity is no longer appreciated. It's just taken advantage of. So please, men, be careful with where you express your masculinity. Save it for inside relationships. Find a high-quality woman who's feminine, who's submissive, who appreciates your masculine contribution, and then give her all of your benefits. She deserves it because she's in a relationship with you, and hopefully you're getting all the benefits of being in a relationship with her. But if that same relationship is over, she cheats on you, she breaks up with you, you don't want to be with her because you're not getting any benefit from being in a relationship with her. Whatever the circumstances, there's a reason why the relationship is done, so let the relationship be done. I think some guys struggle with this because it's just such a core part of their masculine identity that they are kind and protective and they want to do the right thing by women, and they say, Alexander, I can't be as cold and heartless as you're telling me to be because I want to be kind. And isn't it the kind thing to do to take care of that woman? Well, I countered that with a question of my own. How is it kind to yourself to continue to support a woman emotionally and financially who you're not even dating? All of that time and money that you're spending on her, you could be spending on yourself. I get it. You used to be a couple, a single unit. Her victories were your victories, and it made sense to support each other because when she wins, you wins. I get that, but it's over. Now it's time for her to look after herself and for you to look after yourself. And if you're falling victim to like guilt trips, like she's trying to guilt you, saying things like, why aren't you paying my rent anymore? You know, I can't afford the place like this. Like, don't you care about me? Oh, you can safely ignore that because she has revealed that she doesn't care about you. A woman who cares about you and what's right for you would not be asking for free money. She would feel guilty about taking up your time, about taking up your emotional resources. But if she's happy to still collect on that, you know, making you feel guilty so she can continue the benefits, then she's proof she doesn't care about you. And why would you spend any time doing anything for someone who doesn't care about you? I understand there are some exceptions to this. Like if the relationship has gone on long enough that maybe you have children, for example, then it's like, right, like I do have something of an obligation to the mother of my children. Like I remember a guy on Hey Hero once talked to me. He was a really wealthy guy, and you know, he'd been split up with his partner for 10 years, and he was letting her live in this fancy house that he owned completely rent-free because he wanted his children to live in a nice house in a nice neighborhood. I don't have any problem with that. The guy's doing something nice for his kids and for this woman by default, by extension. That's his choice, his money. But for guys who aren't married yet, who don't even have children and have made no financial promises, no obligations to each other, I can't understand why you would continue to support a woman after the two of you have broken up. Let me break down exactly what she's doing here and why it's so dark. What she's doing is she's trying to branch swing and then make you complicit in that process. She wants you to keep up the financial support and the emotional support until a guy comes along to replace you. She doesn't want to let go of the benefits that you used to give her until she's got herself a new source of benefits. But she doesn't want to give you any of the benefits anymore. I mean, maybe once or twice I could have some compassion, but for any guys who continue to fall for this, you start to lose my sympathy. At that point, you're complicit. Even as she's moving further and further away from you, you just keep holding out that branch further so she can swing a little bit easier. Why are you enabling this behavior? What are you doing? If it's some desperate, weird way for you to pretend to yourself that the relationship isn't really over, then it's time to face facts. You might be thinking to yourself, look, there's no way that she would be accepting all of this emotional support I'm giving her. She wouldn't accept all these gifts of money that I'm giving her unless we still had a connection, unless she still felt something, unless there was something of a relationship still here. Women certainly couldn't accept all of that generosity and then give nothing back in return or have any intention of reciprocating in the future. Women couldn't do that. Have you met women? Are you aware of the mental gymnastics they're capable of? When it comes to backwards rationalizing something selfish that benefits them, women are extraordinary. It's not fair to make that gendered, actually. Men can do this too. Human beings, we're capable of some dark shit. But to really drive home just how absurd this situation would be, just flip the genders for a moment. All right? Imagine that you've broken up with your girlfriend, but you say to her that it's her obligation to continue to come round to your house to have sex with you. Sounds ridiculous, right? Like she'd be completely offended. What's the matter with you? We're not in a relationship anymore. Why would I do that? Okay, I'll agree, but then why would it make sense for you to continue to pay for her Netflix account after the relationship is over? Women are capable of being completely heartless, completely ruthless, and exploitative. Women do develop some compassion for men that they're inside relationships with, but that evaporates really quickly once the relationship is done. I know that we live in a culture that has the myth that men are the heartless ones, that men just go around breaking hearts and they can move on so quickly and blah, blah, blah. Whatever, it's not true. There's data that proves that it's not true. I've covered it in videos before. I'll put a link down below if you don't believe me. For women, it can be really binary. Once you lose that boyfriend status, then you kind of cease being special to her. And as unthinkable as this might sound to you, that you can't possibly comprehend that a woman could accept emotional favors and monetary gifts from a man who she knows still has romantic feelings for her, simply because it benefits her, because even though she has no intention of reciprocating that, it absolutely happens. It's actually quite common. It sucks that you're heartbroken. I'm sorry if the relationship breakup has been difficult on you, but you've got to accept the facts and move on. Let it be over. Reclaim your dignity. Make a stand and say, no, the benefits that you got from me were conditional on us being in a relationship. If we're not dating anymore, then it's done. At least then you can go and find a new woman with a clean slate, because I promise you this, any new girls that you date are not going to be excited about the fact that you're still financially supporting your ex. Would you be pleased if you're dating a girl and then found out she was still sleeping with her ex-boyfriend? It's fucked up. You would rightly conclude that she still has feelings for her ex-boyfriend and therefore is not ready for a relationship with you. And she's going to conclude the exact same thing if you're still paying for your ex. Let me say this one more time so that it really sinks in. Once the relationship is over, it's over. Cut her off. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that video. If you're craving more Alexandra Grace content, I gotta say, the best stuff is hidden behind a paywall. Like, if you need advice about your individual dating life, your relationships, reach out to me on Hey Hero. I create a personalized video just for you. If you want to test your knowledge of this kind of stuff, you really want to get into depth, I recommend my paid course, 100 Sides of Women. Fantastic reviews. There's a free trial. There's a video down below that explains everything. And of course, the most affordable option is just signing up to my Patreon. It only costs $7 and you get access to like 270 exclusive videos. The most recent video that I posted 2 days ago is a really interesting one. It's about whether or not we actually should be trying to increase our testosterone, or if that's just a caricature of masculinity that's actually going to do more harm than good. It's a very nuanced topic. It's the sort of things that I don't really cover here on the public YouTube channel because it's not algorithm friendly, it's not clickbait worthy, but it's really, really fantastic. So if you want to take your knowledge of this stuff to the next level, I recommend any one of those 3 options.